Lots of positive vibes here tonight in the intense hot seat. I have Rondell Positive with me. Hi, Rondell. What's popping? How are you?
I'm great. Um, Nice to be here.
Good,
Nice to be here.
good to have you as well, Rondell. Tell me three words to describe your intensity.
Royal, unique, and stressless.
You know, you weren't always Rondell Positive.
Mhm.
And sometimes many persons, they're caught in between, they're living their life and then they want to find the Christian faith or they want to make that big step. Tell me about the transition for you before you were Rondell Positive.
I used to be Rondell Slaughter. I used to be a sound system selector. I was also a teacher. One of the things that really caused a change in my life was one night I went to a dance and I met a youth who I was teaching. And I felt somebody patting me on the back. When I turned on, it was a grade 6 student, and I was like, oh man, this youth at the same place. And that was one of the moments that started having me thinking about my life. But really and truly, I was a womanizer also. I had a girl overseas. She came to Jamaica, my wife. At the time I was engaged now, and she went overseas, and this girl from overseas came, and my entire life just mashed up right in front of my eyes. And I went home to talk to my mother, and she just said, don't talk to me, go talk to God. And I said to God, if you name God, fix this for me. And then we'll just turn over the rest of my life to you. That was like maybe about 7 something in the morning. And when I got back home, like about after 9, everything seemingly was just fixed. That was like 16 years ago.
Temptation is close, far, and wide. Tell me, how has that journey been for you, especially as an entertainer in Jamaica?
I've grown to understand choice. I've grown to understand that I can't want to have a good life and seek to do bad things.
Right.
So I understand choice. I've come into the word purpose. I've come to understand purpose, and that everything is for a purpose, on purpose, and so forth. So how I live is I call my challenge, I take my challenges every day as something that seeks to get me to a greater me,
right,
becoming a better me. So every time there is something that challenges me to fail, I'm like, okay. And even if I fail, that's it. Even if I fail, I get up. Because the steps of a righteous man are ordered by God. And then the scripture say, even though he falls, he rises 7 times. So where fall comes, I choose to rise.
Tell me about your transition now on the international scene.
The music does a lot for itself. Pastors overseas, secular promoters overseas, secular producers overseas, they like the sound, they like the message. I did Rebel Salute the other day, and it was amazing to see Rastafarians, the Rastafarians,
they're accepting and react to it.
And so yeah, it's just putting in the work and getting stuff done.
It's funny that you mentioned that, you mentioned Rebel Salute, you mentioned that persons are comparing you to Buju Banton, to Peter Tosh, Bob Marley. It's really funny that you mentioned that, because we realize that your sound it kind of has that hardcore dance hall vibe to it, but at the same time, it's gospel music, You think that your style of music is necessary to reach to the masses?
Knowledge of who we are and why we are here is what is keeping a lot of people out of where they're supposed to be. And so when God gives me songs, I don't write if I don't hear from him. For example, Stressless Dance. I remember when I went to the producer and he gave me this rhythm, and I said, no sir, this is not my kind of thing, And I went home, and while I was home, God said to me, ask the producer for the music, for the track. And I asked for the track, and I got the track by WhatsApp. And as I downloaded the track, my little baby, at the time she was 13 months, she was sitting on the floor, and she just sprang up and she said, Dada, and she just started dancing. I said, wow. And by the time she was dancing, I just heard the whole song just flow. Every morning me wake with a smile on my face, and me blessed with mercy and grace. And what it was God was reminding me something about her, because when she wake up every morning, she just goes, oh. And God was showing me that this is how adults need to live. We need to live knowing that no matter what we're going through, we are going through, and therefore we're not supposed to be stressing.
There has been quite a bit of controversy around gospel in Jamaica right now, especially gospel music. And as you mentioned, message. As you see, Chosen redid a dancehall track recently. And, you know, a lot of backlash came from it. Some persons are for it, some persons are against it. You think that should have been a route that he took in terms of to create a track, or redo a dancehall track to gospel?
I answer questions according to the word.
Okay.
So Paul said if Jesus is being preached for the sake of the kingdom,
Right.
or if Jesus is being preached for gain, or if Jesus is being preached as mockery, Paul says that the key is Jesus is being preached. No, Jesus is powerful enough. God is powerful enough that it doesn't matter who said Jesus, why them say Jesus, how them say Jesus. Him say, I am powerful enough to use that to transform people's lives.
Right.
So my view on the Chosen song is that there's a message I think that Chosen has given somebody something that is positive out of something that is negative. If people knew me before they knew me now, maybe they would have treated me the same way.
Okay.
I used to tell the girl them say upon your head top. And I used to run the dance them.
Okay.
The reason why them call it Rondell Slaughter is because them couldn't tell the difference between me and Billy Slaughter.
Okay. Tell me about the Vegas and the Jennings with that drama.
I think this pastor really has misused the Bible. And I think that it just wasn't called for. It never reflects God.
And finally, Rondell, tell me what are some of your other plans? I hear you're working on an album, you're working on a book.
So we're working on a book. We're working on an album. Presently, I'm an ambassador for a company called Purpose 101. And we're going into the schools and we're encouraging students to recognize that from an early age that you're not a mistake.
Okay.
You have illegitimate parents, but you don't have illegitimate children. But the aim of the book, though, is really to get people to understand why we're here. Why we're here and why we go through the things that we go through. You know? And to recognize that seeds carry trees. And even though seeds carry trees, those trees are existing just because they're supposed to carry more seeds.
Amen.
It's not even the fruit.
Okay.
Because the fruit is just on the way to the next batch of seeds to produce trees with more fruits carrying seeds.
Boy, it sounds like it's going to be a very, very interesting book. Boy, Rondell, looking forward to a stress-free 2018, you say? Stressless. All right, Rondell, thank you. And I must ask you, final question, of course. Most intense thing about Rondell Positive.
I live purpose. I do everything on purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Rondell, big up yourself. Thank you so much for stopping by our hot seat.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
It's a
man.
blessing.
Mad.